This is Santo, and you're watching the Alliance Guys podcast on YouTube.
This is the world famous cheeseburger, and you're watching the Alliance Guys podcast here on YouTube.
This is Bruno Bob Evans, and you're watching the Alliance Guys podcast on YouTube.
I'm building an alliance.
Will you join us?
It's showtime.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We are tonight's entertainment.
You're not here, you missing out, because this show...
Ladies and gentlemen.
All right, listen up. And now, the moment you've all been waiting for.
It's time for the Alliance Guys podcast.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to the Alliance Guys podcast, a presentation of alliance-wrestling.com, your number one source for news and information for the National Wrestling Alliance. My name is Jake Howe. What is up with this camera angle? What's going on here? Oh, all right, that's close enough. What's up, everyone? It's your boy Jake Howe. I hope you're all having a great Thursday. I hate the camera's not looking so good right now. What if I did that and then I did this? Huh? No. Okay. What's up, everybody? Again, my name is Jake Howe. You are tuned in to the Alliance Guys live stream, a presentation of alliance-wrestling.com. Each and every Thursday, we come to you, the hashtag NWA fam, to talk about the National Wrestling Alliance. One lonely beastie I be, all by myself without nobody. I want to be on one of those type commercials. Wrestle Rant, shoot it and send it to me. I would love to have Mike Mayhem put over the Alliance Guys podcast. And then, hey, Pethead, what's going on? Thanks for hanging out with us today on this Thursday. Pethead, you're in the UK, so it is like super late. Are you doing all right? Why aren't you in bed? Or are you like me? Sometimes you can't sleep. It happens. But, I will be joined momentarily by a few more people, as in DKM and Jaden. They are my regular co-hosts here for the Alliance Guys live stream. But, as life pertains, sometimes we don't always have a free minute to get on when we're supposed to. So evidently, they were not able to join me live. But hopefully they'll be on sooner than later. In other words, hope you're all doing well this Thursday. I don't want to get too much into the live stream until they get here, so we're going to kind of drag our feet a little bit. But, the NWA, the National Wrestling Alliance, is heading towards the Crockett Cup. That's what a lot of people are talking about. Of course, some of the matches have already taken place, and we're going to talk about that momentarily right here on the Alliance Blog, Alliance Guys podcast. I mean, we are the Alliance Blog, but on the Alliance Guys podcast, we'll be talking about that. And I hope you guys will check it out, hang out, and talk some wrestling with me. For those of you who've never... Pethead, what is PDM? PDM Live. What is that? I don't know. Oh, thanks for the heartbeat, by the way. I don't know what a PDM is. Forgive my ignorance. But, oh, so you know Poyo. Poyo's a friend of mine. Poyo's been on this very live stream a couple of times. I message Poyo quite a bit. She tells people that I slide into her DMs, but, it's not like that. I didn't realize. That's cool. I didn't know you were a PDM fan. Sorry, this is for everybody, but I'm talking directly to Pethead right now. Did you discover my live stream on YouTube, or did you know me on TikTok first? Because it's kind of funny that you're part of the PDM fan base and somehow you found me. That's pretty crazy. Hey, Dell, what's going on? Hallmark in Idaho. Nice. King Shaw Mega, what's going on, my friend? Sorry, I'm drinking my protein. Thursday's leg day, so I went to the gym and I got my leg workout in, and it's been a busy day. Earlier today, I interviewed Matthias of the United Wrestling Network fame. I'm doing good, Sean. How are you doing? Adele, how are you? And the interview I did with, I had two really good interviews this week, Matthias and Ariel Van Gogh. If you guys get a chance to listen to either one of them, or both of them even, I really feel like those are some of my best interviews I've done in a while. And not that I'm trying to toot my own horn here, but I was very happy with how it turned out. Ariel Van Gogh, I had no idea, had wrestled previously under the name Shinran and had a catastrophic injury in the ring. And to be perfectly honest, lucky to be alive. And it was like the way he described the injury. And what's crazy is, as he was describing the injury, I knew exactly what he was talking about. I saw the video. We shared the video. I sent it to friends. Friends sent it to me. And I had no idea he was the same person. And it was one of those things, like literally on the live stream or podcast, I discovered that, and I held my breath and I covered my mouth and I said, holy crap, that was you? And like that video was like on Tosh.0, and it was on Ridiculousness, and literally, like I said, I saw it on Facebook. People shared it with me. It's on YouTube, and the fact that happened to him, but he's still able to, like, he's living a normal life. And that kind of brought the conversation over to Chris Bay, who sustained a very traumatic injury. And a lot of people don't even know if Chris Bay will wrestle again. There was a point in time where he didn't think he was going to walk again. And, so it just shows the human spirit. And in the sport of professional wrestling, don't take anything for granted. Everything is dangerous. Anything bad that could happen would be happening. Pethead, I was talking to you. I was wondering, have you been following Poyo Damar, and did you discover me through Poyo, or did you discover me on your own? And did you discover me on TikTok, or did you discover me on YouTube? That's my questions to you, Pethead. Even though you're not being interviewed right now, you kind of are. Just because it's not bad, but it's peculiar to me that you follow Poyo and somehow you found me, and Poyo's my friend. Poyo's been on this live stream before, so it's just kind of a cool little coincidence if that's how it met. It's my guy Double D. What's going on, Devin? How are you today? And Noob's in the chat as well. What's up, Noob? So yeah, if you guys missed it earlier, a very fun interview today with Matthias, talking about positivity, overcoming obstacles, just how his whole influence in pro wrestling is and where he came from, and another really good interview in my opinion. And again, I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but I thought it was very interesting. Pethead, that's perfect. Well, I appreciate you hanging out, and that's cool. Poyo is somebody I think very highly of and is welcome on my show anytime. Poyo was behind the NWA Wrestling Online magazine. I think they've stopped producing that. But Poyo also in the past has promoted wrestling events out here in Southern California. And I was actually at the event that Poyo hosted out in Palm Springs, which is like 30 minutes away from where I live. And I recorded a lot of those matches. Most of them are online right now. Double D said, "Oh my God, are you Kevin Owens?" I get that quite a bit. And then Jaden, welcome to the show. How are you, pal? Well, maybe Jaden's not ready yet. Double D, thank you for that. I thought it was a good interview too. And again, I'm not trying to sound so conceited because I try to be humble, right? But I felt like that was two very good back-to-back interviews. And of course, we'll get Jaden's opinion on that when Jaden gets on later this evening. But we've got some more stellar interviews coming up. Former WCW and NWA announcer Gary Michael Capetta will be joining the podcast very, very soon. I think Monday night, actually. And then we're also slated to have former NWA Women's Television Champion, current United Wrestling Network Women's World Champion, Big Mama, coming to the Alliance Blog podcast next week. So these are good things, stuff that I'm very excited about, and I can't wait to share these interviews with you guys. Jaden, are you there?
Can you hear me now? Because this stupid mic, I'm in a mood, by the way. So y'all in for a good night because I'm going to be cranky and cantankerous. I'm taking DK spot on the old man that's pissed off at everything spot at the moment because I'm in a mood. I'm fired up. Tommy Rich should be impressed.
Are you having hard times, Daddy?
At hard times, I'm going to curse. I'm doing my best not to go on a tirade because I'm on a diatribe kind of mood. I love big words.
Diatribe. There used to be a guy who wrote for SoCal Uncensored, and his name was like Digabolo, something like that. But I always thought of him as Diatribe because every time he reviewed a wrestling show, it was like 16 paragraphs long. It took you about 2 hours to read it. You could watch the show faster than you could read his reviews, but it was always a good read. And Double D is excited for Gary Michael Capetta. I need to say that right because he's coming on Monday.
Yes. You're going to have a lot of fun with him. He is a very educated, very wise. He's winding down with kings and queens and he's sat alley and pork and beans. No. He's been to the WWF. He was there in the biggest market, in the biggest city in America, and all the way through AWA, WCW, and he's a very intelligent man. I love listening to him, and I can't wait to buy his book. I'll be getting it at the South Jersey Geek Fest on April the 4th, as Dangerous Adrenaline Wrestling Gladiators will have pro wrestling action, and of course, Gary Michael Capetta will be at our table. Cheap plug.
Yeah, and thanks to Dr. Lawrence Zirconium and the folks over at Dangerous Adrenaline Wrestling Gladiators for setting up this interview for me. A lot of people don't know this, but there's a very good reason why I only have the best things to say about Dr. Lawrence Zirconium, and that's because he's he doesn't pay me, but he's literally
that's great. He's cheap. He don't pay anybody.
I mean, he pays me in guests for podcasts, so that's almost the same thing. I mean, over the years, he got me Wrecking Ball Legursky. Thanks, NWA. He got me Wrecking Ball Legursky. He's gotten me Biggie Biggs. He got me Ray Jazz. Chance Prophet back in the day, Damian Wayne back in the day. Gosh, and then even more recently, he helped land
Molyneux. He got you Tommy Cairo. He got you
Tommy Cairo.
Yeah,
That goes way back. Yeah, there are many guests that Dr. Lawrence Zirconium has been able to book for the show, and obviously it's part of it is him being he's bringing in these talents and we do a good job of promoting the events, but I don't take any of that for granted. Just given the opportunity to speak to so many people that he set up for me, I mean, it's very incredible, and I'm very grateful for all that opportunity over the years.
Bob Evans.
No, we haven't had Follow Ball yet.
You haven't had Follow Ball?
No.
Oh, okay. I'll talk to him about that. That'll be coming, I guess.
I mean,
I thought that was already happened.
No, just in recent weeks, we had Cheeseburger, Brutal Bob. We've had Spencer Slade. We had Biggie Biggs. We've had I'm forgetting some of their names, but just
Marvelous.
That's right, Marvelous. I
can tell you for a fact, he'll probably, now that he knows you haven't had Follow Ball, he's going to work on that. He's also going to, I know there's a somebody who will be a signature piece for your podcast. Little hint, Kevin, there that he's working on for you.
Oh yeah, that would be great.
And maybe a current, just recently former NXT superstar, now WWID signed person, he might work on for you too.
Oh, fantastic! We love that. And that's not to say that I'm not out there trying to hustle my own interviews too. Like we've, just this last couple of weeks, we had Ninja Mac, we had Ariel Van Gogh. And Ariel Van Gogh is a talent that I would like to see blow up overnight. Like he's been in the business for a long time. In fact, I think you might have known him under some of his other aliases. He did some work with Chikara. He's been around, but Ariel Van Gogh is what he goes by now, and he's just phenomenal in the ring, especially for the people who like wrestling like I do. A lot of the high style. Jim Cornette would call it flippy dippy. I like flippy dippy, and that's kind of in my wheelhouse. By
the way, I don't hate flippy dippy. I just believe flippy dippy has to be in the right time, in the right spot, and then immediately let somebody absorb. Yeah. I hate when it's a dance routine. It's not a wrestling match. It's a bunch of people moving around. You want to watch that at TikTok videos, and the girls are a lot cuter. Well, some of them are pretty cute, or doing it on WWE and stuff and company. But yeah, it's all. A lot of the wrestling now is the flippy dippy stuff. That is people who want to be luchadors and don't know how to be luchadors, but they try to pretend to be luchadors.
And I hear that, and that is kind of. I would have a problem with that, but like. Man, and again, like I said, I'm biased, but Ninja Mac, who does an incredible, he does what they call, I guess, tricking, which I was unfamiliar with the term, but now I've heard it twice in recent weeks, and it's like
you had a nickel for every time you heard it. You have 2 nickels,
which is not a lot, but still, it's quite a coincidence. Yeah, I mean, it's just and again, Ariel Van Gogh. Both those guys were a lot of fun to have on the podcast, and like I said, we have Big Mama scheduled. I just had Matthias on, and I'm always looking for more people to speak to. So if you're a wrestling talent out there and would like to come on the Alliance Guys podcast, slide in those DMs because I forgot I also spoke to Little Cholo just recently too, and I'm gonna go to Little Cholo's show tomorrow night in Orange, California, in Stanton.
And you just put one out like just a few minutes ago?
Yeah, I just did one today.
Yeah.
Just a few hours ago. Like in the last. All right, so let's see here. Not to
toot your own horn, but toot.
Yeah, we had Matthias 3 hours ago. We had Ariel Van Gogh 2 days ago. Little Cholo was last week. We had Ninja Mac 2 weeks ago. Cheeseburger 3 weeks ago. Brutal Bob 3 weeks ago. Pretty Boy Smooth a month ago. Yeah, I mean, I'm trying, man. I really, as much as I love doing the live stream with you and DK, and I do see a ton of value in that. I also feel like there's a lot of value in one-on-one conversations with not just wrestlers, but the talent that make up the wrestling industry. So, I mean, in the past, we've had promoters come on, we've had referees come on. I'm even thinking about trying to get Shane Tylan. I think I'm saying his last name right. He is a videographer for United Wrestling Network, TNA Wrestling, and the National Wrestling Alliance. And I think he has some really good stories. I want to see if he wants to come on and talk about that. I also would love to speak to Iban, who used to be the one of the key photographers for the NWA and does a lot of posters and digital artwork for the wrestling community. Both those guys, I think, would be a lot of fun to come on here. And
You
of
need
course,
more ladies. That way, maybe you get rid of the narrative that you hate women wrestlers.
I would love to. You look. Gonna have Big Mama on next week. But yeah, you're right. I don't have a problem talking to women. I've been married twice. I know how to talk to ladies. I was waiting for something. Let's see, Alex.
I was waiting for the punchline.
There is no punchline, sir.
I was waiting. I mean, the one that Michelle hits you every time you say something wrong.
I was waiting for the frying pan, but she's taking the girls back to school night, so I think I'm safe.
Now we go to school. Woo! Yeah, my throat hurts. I can't even get a woo out.
You can't even get a woo out. That's hard times, Daddy.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Catching up on 2x speed. You want me to talk about 2x speed? That you want to understand about 2x speed? I can talk about 2x speed. Wait, I can talk about fast. We talk like this. I can be like Blair from the Transformers the movie. Yay!
That's Micro Machines there.
Wait, Grana, weep, bar.
Oh my God! And for anyone who's never seen Transformers, you're like, what the hell? I don't even know if DK is going to stick around now after that.
Ball weave, Grana, wait, ninny bomb. Ball weave, Grana, wait, ninny bomb.
That's wild, man.
That's my Eric Idle impersonation doing Rec Guard doing Ball weave, Grana, weep, ninny bomb.
Eric Idle?
Not from Monty Python.
Oh,
he did Rec Guard. Always look on the bright side of life.
I'm not a big Monty Python guy.
That's it. DK, he's got to go. That's it. DK, you there?
Is ready to. Oh my
he
God.
might be having the same problem I did. It would not let me talk. I was talking for 5 minutes and you didn't even hear me.
What I really want to know is, why did Jaden take speed?
Oh, geez. I am caffeinated like you won't believe. I had 4 today.
4 what?
Two grill of mines, 1 ghost, and 1 sebum.
I believe you.
I had I forgot what it's called, but I have a pre-workout that I've been using, and it's good. It helps me get through my workout, but I'm spent afterwards. So then I came home and I had a bucked up, and that's like 300 milligrams. And I'm also drinking a Coca-Cola right now, and I also have my caffeinated Premier Protein. And so we're just tugging along here.
Did DK just go red?
Maybe he just fell out and came back on.
He was still like his one and only was still there, and his name was still there. One more time, DK.
Tell me back to the green.
Oh, to the green room, to the Chelsea green room.
Oh my God!
I'm in rare form tonight. I am fired up.
Well, that'll make tonight's episode even more fun. All right,
we'll get to kick this off the air.
Well, I didn't get kicked off the air earlier today, so I'm feeling pretty feeling good about tonight's episode. So
real quick, get yourself a Ninja Creamy and take that Mountain Dew and make slushies out of it. You will thank me.
You know what I do with my Ninja Creamy? Because I have one. I did half a cup, a full cup of cottage cheese, and then a full cup of almond milk, and then I did the Reese's peanut butter C4 protein, but it's not energy, just the protein.
Yeah,
it was
very good protein.
It was.
I hate to give C4 credit, but that's a damn tasty protein.
Well, it tastes just like a peanut butter cup. So when you mix all those elements, it almost tastes like a Reese's peanut butter cheesecake in ice cream form. And it's delicious. It's my favorite recipe there. Oh, thank you for the gifts, Wiccan. I appreciate the hearts. The Wiccan sent me the little heart thing. I can't. Is that how you do it? Yeah, he's doing that. Thanks, Wiccan. I appreciate you, sir.
I'm going to send you something with fingers.
That sounded very not good.
You could. That's why I said it. So many ways you can take it, and probably they're all right.
Okay, well, we'll do that. And so, I think I'm just as much over the place as Jaden is. I've done a lot of talking this week, and I'm getting tired of talking. So, DK, how are you doing, sir?
Exactly.
Well, exactly. Well, for those who don't know, I've worked a part-time job here for about the last year. I retired, spent about a year not working or working for myself, and I still work for myself, and I've spent about past year working a part-time job. And so for the first time in 2 years, I worked like 8 days straight because some people were on vacation. And I'm not really coherent, and I'm certainly not hyped up like Jaden, and I'm probably not even hyped up like Jay. So just be glad I'm here and able to speak, although it may have nothing to do with anything we're talking about.
So it's good. It's status quo. Gotcha.
For the record, I just want to throw out too. Wiccan gave me a chicken recipe that I need to put pen to paper. Well, I mean, I put it to paper, but I actually need to make it. So when I do, and that might be a TikTok video. I might try that recipe while you know what I did buy? I bought those knockoff, and I don't have them with me right now. I bought the knockoff metas, and in fact, they are in my TikTok shop right now. In fact, I'll put them up on the screen. They're so cool. Did you guys see the video I sent you?
I kind of watched a little bit of it, but again, I apologize. I was watching it after my internship, and I was very exhausted.
It was just my drive home, but the quality in the video is so good. And like the audio isn't very good, but like I didn't buy them to record audio. I bought them to record video. Like to me, where these will come in very handy is when I go to like a meet and greet and I want to kind of document the footage, or even going to a live wrestling show, which I plan to do this Friday night when I go to the House of Lucha in Orange, California, or maybe Stanton, California. I'll be wearing those glasses, and so like I could show people what I'm seeing at the Lucha shows, and not just Lucha, but all wrestling events. They're so cool, and they're they're in the TikTok shop right now. That they're tagged on my video, and they were only like $55. And I think when I bought them, they were a little bit cheaper, but I highly recommend it.
Yeah, just turn them off before you go to the restroom, okay, man?
Yeah, I'm not gonna do anything like that. That would be weird.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, you go to walk in and your wife surprises you.
We're not gonna talk about that. Well, there's too many young ears in the audience, sir.
Yeah, everybody, I am going. If you are innocent, I'm going to ruin you. Sorry, it just happens. You need to get your rosaries ready, because I'm a bit much, especially when I'm on a tirade, or I'm tired, or I'm a tired tirade.
If you were any more tired, you'd be tires.
Oh God, no! I am like there's 11 of me. Don't make tires. I got some weight on me.
Pet had said that they're already ruined, so you missed one. She got ruined on her own. So sorry, that's on TikTok. I'm doing multitasking here. I'm trying to interact with both the audience that is on TikTok and the audience that's on YouTube, and then the audience that is you in DKM. So I also want to say shout out to Steve G, who's in the chat. What's up, Steve? Hope you're having a good Thursday evening.
Stevie G's in the house. Wah, 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 wah.
Oh, I should get that. I should get that to have a sound, huh? The wah, 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 wah.
Yes, when he should do when we do the pre-party. Wah, 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 wah.
But all I have is this. Oh, it's really quiet.
Yeah. Careful, you're gonna get trademarked. Keep that seconds down.
Yeah, it's only a few seconds. Pethead says I'm good at. I do a good job of multitasking. Honestly, I think I'm not diagnosed, but I'm pretty sure I have ADHD, and just having a lot of things to do at one time kind of centers me, if that makes any sense.
You down with ADHD? Yeah, you know me.
All right, so let's talk about the NWA for just a hour and a half.
30 seconds.
Did you guys watch this week's Power?
Yes, and so much so that DK just left because he didn't want to deal with it. No, I did. I have my thoughts. I skipped through a lot of the stupid stuff, though.
You did the right thing by skipping out on some of the stupid stuff, but I will address some of it when we're going through the episode. DK, did you say you watched it, or did you 8 days working? Did you have time for Power?
I did not watch it, so I'll let the two of you talk about it, and I will, smile with glee when I hear the stupidity and knowing that I didn't have to, even fast forward.
There were a lot of parts of the show that I thought were pretty good, but yeah, I hear what you're saying. Before we talk about that, one last thing, and I know we don't have the graphic anymore, but hey, Jaden, did you watch the new episode of Daredevil that dropped yesterday?
Yes, I watched it at 6:30 in the morning. I woke up specifically knowing that I had a lot to do today, so I could watch it.
I watched it last night, and I'm so happy with Disney Plus and the Daredevil series. They do a very good job. If you're a comic book nerd like Jaden and I, you definitely want to check out the Daredevil season on Disney Plus. And
I can't wait for Karen to bring Kenzie and fully grown up Kylie onto the show with them.
What?
Karen Page.
Oh my god. I went zoom right over my head. I did not even know what you were saying.
I like Karen Page, but I'll be honest though, I liked what was she when she was in the redhead in True Blood? I like Jessica better.
I never saw True Blood.
I did because I had friends who loved it, and I was dating girls in the vampire stuff.
You're dating girls that like Billy Corgan?
No, I said vampire stuff, not whiny little old men in looking like grandpa, looking like anorexic Bill Burr.
And they're brothers,
Yes, half brothers, I know.
Maybe.
Brothers
maybe only half.
Brothers hug.
They might be clones.
No, they're not, because Bill Burr's funny.
Damn. All right. We're going to do a quick recap of this week's Power. Then we're going to talk a little bit about the NWA and what's going on. Of course, we are ever so close to the Crockett Cup, which films quite literally about 45 minutes away from DKM. In about 2 weeks' time, they will be doing the Crockett Cup out there in Forney, Texas. And DK refuses to go because I'm not going, and it just wouldn't be the Crockett Cup without his boy J Cal. And I get it, but I can't do it. So let's start with this week's episode of Power. Oh, real quick, programming note. Did you guys hear that Joe Kazana Promotions released their new web series, their new podcast show? They're calling it Glory. No joke. 3 R's, GLORRRY. Glory.
Hallelujah.
Glory, glory, hallelujah.
I figured it was more like Hercules Hernandez and Paul Roma, Power and Glory.
That's actually kind of funny if that was true. I did not put that up there.
I saw
that.
That
was made a flick with 3 L's.
Who's Paul Roma?
Oh, Billy Corgan's Paul Roma. You know what though? Make fun of Paul Roma. He was actually very talented. People always had everything at it. Paul Roma didn't have lack of ability.
I like Jim Powers better.
Well, Jim Powers is a New Jersey guy, and Paul Roma is a New York guy, so I probably like Jim Powers better too. But New York sucks.
I used to love Jim Powers. He was my favorite guy because he was built like the Ultimate Warrior, and he actually wrestled well. But he was always the mid card guy. I'm like, why isn't he a bigger? Even as a kid, I was like, this guy should be a bigger star. What's wrong with him? But I also liked Mike Enos as well. So what do I know?
At least they never made him a horseman.
This is true.
Who was worse, Mongo or Paul Roma?
Mongo.
Well, hold
Mongo,
on, a trick question. Who was worse, as in, like, never should have been in wrestling at all?
Mongo.
Mongo.
Who was the worst horseman? Because I heard he fit the horseman very well.
Yeah, I was
He
going to
was
say.
a horseman in everything but the ring ability.
Yeah, who was a better fit as far as personality-wise? It was probably Mongo.
Really?
Oh,
Yeah, Mongo apparently was he was fun to be around, I was told.
Oh.
He lived the lifestyle.
Yeah.
You know, that was one of the reasons they had to get Luger out of the Horsemen.
New Jersey sucks, Devin D.
Well, he's a New Yorker.
I know. I could hold that against them, but you know what happens if they drop a bomb on New York City? About $20 billion worth of improvement.
First of all, with the current things that are going on in the world, let's not talk about dropping bombs anywhere.
Why not? Billy Corgan does it all the time with his booking.
That's fair. This episode was called Housebroken, episode 13, season 26 of the NWA Power. The show kicked off with a Crockett Cup match, not a qualifying match, but a genuine artifact real wrestling match for positioning in the Crockett Cup. We had Bones and Scion, who were now managed by Brandon McCord. Brandon McCord, he kind of popped up for a bit as like an Austin Idol lackey. When Idol couldn't make a booking, they would have Brandon McCord show up and be a part of the managerial duties. Now that Idol is gone, I guess he has taken over managing for Zion, who we haven't seen in a while. Zion and Bones were seated opposite of the Good Brothers, Luke Gallows, Carl the Machine Gun Anderson, your boy Jay's pick to win the Crockett Cup. These two gentlemen who actually wrestled last Friday night at the Crash retained their tag team championship in Mexico. Always fun to see those boys out there in Tijuana. This match was, sometimes the NWA will have a weird booking and you'll think, wow, that actually worked out pretty good. This wasn't that. Now, I'll be honest, I very much enjoyed Bones, and I hope that this isn't the only time we ever see Bones, because I think Bones works, man. I think he works on the roster, but as a tag team with Zion, I just didn't care for it. It didn't work for me. I feel like they
50 dog.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I feel like they could have partnered Zion with almost anyone else on the roster, and it would have made more sense. Bones was he's kind of. I feel like Bones might work with Lost. I feel like Bones. Oh, there goes my fan. I feel like Bones might work with Alex Misery and the boys over in Lost, because he's kind of out there too. He's got some crazy face paint, and obviously wrestles with no fear in the match. It's no surprise to me that the Good Brothers won this one. What surprised me, though, was how much offense Bones got in on it. He really was putting the boots onto Carl the Machine Gun Anderson quite a bit. And it was I was shocked about how much offense Bones actually was able to secure in this matchup. But at the end of the day, the Good Brothers won. They looked good in this match. It was almost like an enhancement match, which it's kind of weird when you're talking about the Crockett Cup, but a lot of these guys, again, Bones and Scion have never even teamed before, let alone they should not have been in the cup. This spot should have gone to anybody with even a little bit of tag experience before, because this was just a thrown together tag team that it just didn't do anything for me. I would have rather seen Gags and Lev in this role, honestly. Like, anybody would have been better than these guys. And it's, again, I'm not trying to hate on Scion, and I'm not trying to hate on Bones, because I actually enjoyed Bones quite a bit, but I figure this match was just it's a throwaway match. Jaden, did you watch it?
Yeah. First of all, the combination of Zion and Zion, I forgot, I don't know, and Bones, it kind of and their new manager kind of remind me of like Paul Jones's Army.
Yeah.
And I always thought Bones was a doctor, not a wrestler.
Damn it, Jim.
But I don't know.
I thought Bones was a girl.
No, Bones was a doctor with a limp and a pill problem.
No, I'm pretty sure she was a anthropologist that helped the FBI solve crimes.
You have to pause and wonder what decisions you made in life when Alex Misery points out that things are getting unhinged. What the hell, man?
Eyeball.
I feel like I'm either on another level and things are amazing, or I'm really at the lowest of lows because Alex Misery just said that this show is unhinged. I don't know what to do.
That's right.
I'm pretty sure that's a compliment.
Well,
yeah.
All the same, we love Alex Misery. He had a great promo this week, but we'll get more to that in just in a short minute.
But I'm glad the Good Brothers won, and it was a win for them. That's about what I can say.
The post-match promo I thought was really good. Every time I hear people bring up the Crockett Cup, it's very quick to go to the 80s. It's very quick to go to, the Road Warriors, to go to, Sting and Luger. But I like the fact that he, weaved it in with, he even acknowledged Trevor Murdoch and Mike Knox, again, bestowing upon them some of the respect that, is usually reserved from the wrestlers from the 80s. And I really did appreciate that. He could have even said the Briscoes and he wouldn't have been wrong. And I felt like that would have added more credibility to his promo. But at the same time, he did enough. He put over the past, the present, the future. And I think that was really cool to hear that.
You realize that Billy's done more sanctioned Crockett Cups than Jim Crockett Promotions.
Oh, I completely understand that. But at the same time,
which I think is a good thing. That's not a thing. I think that's good.
Well, it's definitely, when they brought the Crockett Cup back to the NWA, it had, they had used the cup in some capacity, at least the name of the Crockett Cup Tournament in some capacity in some of the North Carolina independents. Obviously, the NWA doesn't recognize those tournaments, but there were some Crockett tournaments during that time that the NWA wasn't associated with the Crockett's anymore. But I still feel like I agree with you, DCAM. Yes, Billy has done more Crockett Cup tournaments than the NWA prior to Billy has, but it also is one of those staples that when people think of the NWA and the tag team wrestling, the Crockett Cup name just takes us back to those 80s and those three tournaments that they did. And I don't have a problem with that. Again, the NWA tries to carry out the legacy and history and tradition of the National Wrestling Alliance the way it was. And, by honoring the Crockett family with the tournament, I don't feel like that does anything to hurt the legacy of the originals, nor does it put any shame on what they're doing now.
I don't know if I agree on that because they're still the Super 8, but it's not the Super 8 from Jim Kettner.
Sure.
So, but, I will say from anybody putting on the Crockett Cup that has the right to do so, the NWA has, my opinion, the most credibility to do so. And most of the time, they've done a really good job on it.
Well, and if we look at some of the past winners, right? So last year it was the Immortals, which I feel like they were a good tag team, and I feel like they were worthy of winning the tournament. The year before was the Southern Six. That was a little surprising. DK and I were both there for that cup, and I don't think they would have been my picks to win it in 24 and 23. You had Knox and Murdoch. They won the tournament, and again, I think they would have fit right in with those old school tag teams back in the 80s. And then I believe the year before that, I want to say it was the Briscoes, and was that 22?
Your guess is as good as mine now.
Or so now I'm going to look it up real quick while we're talking about it. But also, I think that there was Harry Smith and Doug. Why can't I remember his
Doug
last
Williams.
name? Doug Williams won, I think, the tournament 1 year too. So let's see.
I don't think they won the tournament. I think they won the titles.
Okay, so the Road
Yeah, and they
Warriors,
beat the champions at the time who were in the tournament, but the winners were the Briscoes.
Road Warriors won in '86. The Superpowers won in '87. The Midnight Express. No, wait, what? Hold on.
No.
Luger and Sting won in '88. And then in 2019, the Villains Enterprise, Brody King, PCO won. In 2022, the Commonwealth Connection, Doug Williams and Harry Smith won the tournament. And then in 2023, Knox and Murdoch won the tournament.
So the Briscoes didn't win. They must have beat the tag champs.
No, the Briscoes won.
Briscoes won. Smith and Williams didn't.
Yeah, that's what I'm under memory of.
You're right. The way that they wrote this on, and of course I went to Wikipedia, so that was my fault. The Briscoe brothers beat the Commonwealth Connection in the Crockett Cup Finals in 2022, and then we had Knox and Murdoch win it in 23. Then we had Southern Six in 24, and then the Immortals in 25. And I feel like that's a really good representation because again, you had the Briscoes who were famous at the time. I mean, ROH was kind of suspended operations, so you had one of the pinnacle tag teams of ROH who won the tournament. Then you had a couple NWA teams win it. They had an international team of Doug. They never won it. Where was I going? And last year you had the Colognes in the tournament who were an international tag team who had a lot of success in the WWE. This year you have the Good Brothers in the tournament, as well as potentially the tag team champions from All Japan Pro Wrestling. So there definitely is, I feel like the NWA does a good job of putting some international names into it. And then going back to 2019, the tournament champions were ROH wrestlers in Brody King and PCO. So I think that's pretty cool.
They've had AAA tag teams. But ironically, though, the one tag team you credit as international, I hate to break this to you. I know this comes as a surprise to you, but Puerto Rico is part of the United States, Jay.
You're right, and I know that, and I don't. I meant more like they had their success outside of the NWA, but you're right. I misspoke there. When you look at the tournament from last year, the Colognes were kind of the big favorites to win because they're former WWE tag team champions, and of course won the tag titles in Puerto Rico multiple times. But I feel like this year there is that international flair because although Doc and Anderson are U.S. born, their fame all happened in Japan. The IWGP tag team titles was a huge victory for the NWA having those guys in the tournament. And yes, they've held titles in TNA and WWE, but had they not had so much success in New Japan, they probably wouldn't have had that same level of success in the States. And as Soto 619 points out, the Crash Tag Team Champions. All right.
Do they have bandicoots in the Crash?
Say that again.
Do they have bandicoots in the Crash promotion?
No, they do not.
That just seems like a miss right there.
Double D said the 2020 one was the first one you remember. It wasn't 2020 Double D because they didn't have it in 2020. You must be thinking of the 2019 Crockett Cup. And then Matthew Underwood says, Alex Misery said we're unhinged. Now Matthew Underwood says it sounds like you're all tripping balls. Maybe. Maybe. I don't know, man. I don't know. What do I know? I've recorded so much hours of content this week that you're lucky that I'm even able to speak at this moment. I got to be honest. I'm fighting the urge just to go lay down and fall asleep.
Well, then drink some more caffeine.
I'm working on it. Premier Protein. Getting my protein in too. All right. The next match, I guess right after that promo from Doc and the Machine Gun, which was kind of funny because Doc pulls the mic away from Kyle Davis, and that was pretty funny.
Yeah, I heard Doc Gallows doesn't like bald people.
And I just kept thinking it's like they were like those little Russian babushka dolls where you pulled out one and there's a smaller version of the other one, and then you just keep opening them up and it's just smaller and smaller. You had Doc Gallows, and then you had Carl Anderson, and then you had you could have put like Mike Mondo in there and then Kyle Davis, and it would have been like one of those babushkas, right?
I think a babushka is a different thing, but yes.
Okay, well, sorry. I'm not up to date on my Russian dialect. If we can get Natalia Markova on here, I'm sure she can enlighten me on that.
Pollo?
Yeah, Pollo.
I will credit Natalia. The only promo I saw was her, so I'll go when that comes around. I'll say something.
Noob said, "I'm glad there's no intergender wrestling in the Crockett Cup like the last few times." Yeah, I mean, look, they tried to do it with Markova and Idol, and Markova is tough as nails. I don't want to misrepresent how much of a badass Markova is, but I don't need to see her wrestling men to know that she's a badass. I get it. She's one of the toughest women in all of pro wrestling right now. I don't need to see her in intergender matches. And then we also had Max the Impaler, I believe, 2 years ago, as part of the Crockett Cup. And although Max is non-binary, and I respect that, it's still intergender wrestling because Max doesn't identify as a man either. So at that point, it is intergender.
Real quick, though, I think Kevin Kelly would probably kick Markova's butt.
Who would?
Kevin Kelly, but not the announcer. Mr. Magnificent.
I don't know who that is. Nails?
He was Nails.
Okay.
He was the prisoner.
Yeah, what does that have to do with Markova?
He said she was tough as nails.
Jesus.
I think Kevin Kelly.
Why they tripping balls.
Yeah.
And of course, Matthew Underwood is pulling for me to interview Vladimir Koloff. I can't even talk now. Matthew Underwood is also pulling for me to interview Vladimir Koloff, which I would be happy to do so. Let him know that I'm starting to make my appointments for April. So let's make that work, Matthew. I would love to interview Vladimir Koloff and see if that's where he's telling me to wake up. What am I doing wrong here, guys? Oh,
you need more caffeine. Drink some of that Premier Protein with caffeine.
I am.
Drink some of that can of Diet Coke.
Okay,
Coke Zero.
Look, Jay, you need to figure out
get some Dubby
where you're supposed to be, because obviously Jaden's the wired one. I'm the dead one. So you gotta find your own niche and stop trying to steal ours.
The Devon Taker.
All right. Well, that's okay. That's fair. All right. I center myself.
You can rest in clouds.
Noob wants me to interview Markova. Hey, Noob, I would love to interview Markova. If you have a way to get me in contact with her, I would absolutely love to interview Natalia Markova.
If Noob had 7 Dragon Balls, he would ask Shenron to be Markova's underwear.
Let's not go into any of that stuff. That's a little. First of all, you
he
lost.
would go full on oolong on that one.
I never watched a Dragon Ball. I don't know what Dragon Ball is. I've never seen a Dragon Ball.
Well, they have 2 of them, and that's how they have dragon eggs. When a male dragon and a female dragon, they love each other.
So then we get
they're fired up, just like me.
Then we get the Haley J promo, and I did see that our pal Heebs in the Discord was watching this, and his daughter was in the room, and he said that she popped when Haley J said the word Dookie, and I kind of laughed too, because Haley J and her dog were calling out Kylie and calling her the pretty prima Dookie, which I thought was pretty funny. And
I did it all for the Dookie. So you could take the Dookie. And never mind.
I'm pretty sure this was what's her name? The one married to Johnny TV, Dynamite, Bob.
Taya Valkyrie,
yeah, her. I'm pretty sure this was her gimmick as Frankie in NXT.
Really?
Yes.
Because
she carried the little dog around and it made a mess somewhere and blah blah blah.
Okay, I didn't watch a lot of NXT back then, so I missed Talia Valkyrie's run in NXT. But yeah, I wouldn't surprise me. I never saw Haley J with a dog before, but after the power slap competition, that seems like that's the dog has been a part of her. Stormy, I want to make sure I'm giving credit to the pooch there, Stormy the dog. I feel like now that maybe she's incorporated having the dog in part of the promos. Anyways, I really feel like this would have been the way that they were booking this match seems ridiculous to me, but I also feel like we've seen Haley J and Kylie Page wrestle before. We know that they're both very talented. They've had some pretty good back and forth in the NWA before. I don't know that you needed this dog gimmick to get the match over, but Alex Misery told me to respect the dog, and I am respecting the dog. But I did feel like this, if this is what it takes to get them in the ring again, I'm fine with that.
The dog was a little Poochie dog.
Yeah, a little Poochie. You know what happened to Poochie on The Simpsons?
Yes. He went off into space.
He didn't just go off the space. Next up, we have the Lost promo. And now I'm going to try to be a little bit more serious and a little bit more grounded here because we can't both be unhinged. And Alex Misery is unhinged. Alex Misery is a threat to everyone. And when he's in the back, in the dark, talking about, Gags and Lev were a part of the Crockett Cup qualifying match. They obviously did not advance. And I'm sure that that's affecting the Lost. But Alex Misery points out that, maybe that they've lost sight of what's important. And, I think we've been saying it for a while that I want to see Alex Misery enter the singles division and perhaps go after either the junior heavyweight title or maybe even the TV title. And I think that if we're reading the tea leaves, that's what Misery wants to do. He did mention that, he started the Lost, and maybe now it's time for him to focus on something a little bit more shinier, which to me means a championship belt, but I don't know. I like Misery, even though I'm sure he's going to be the person that puts me underground. I feel like the NWA is better with him, and his freakish odd behavior, I think is something different that we don't see in the NWA, and I feel like it sets him apart from the rest of the roster. And the fact of the matter is that he was on this podcast, and it was not a gimmick. It's who he is. Look out, NWA. Anything to add, Jaden?
No, I think you surmised it correctly.
The next match that we get for the night is Damian Fenrir versus Will Austin. Now, I really enjoyed this match. We were talking about that earlier in the night. That my favorite kind of wrestling is where there's a lot of high risk, a lot of dives, a lot of aerial artistry in a match. And Fenrir and Will Austin definitely delivered on this one. Fenrir, as the announcers mentioned, he is every bit of the 225 weight limit for the junior heavyweight division, but the guy moves around like somebody much, much smaller. Will Austin, as I did my research before, Will Austin had previously has wrestled for Coastal Championship Wrestling and has been a challenger for the World Wrestling Council World Junior Heavyweight Championship. And, currently he's been competing for Exodus Pro, Ohio Valley. He's been in NWA Chicago. He's worked for Reality Wrestling. So he's not a slouch. Will Austin is a guy that gets around. He wrestles quite a bit. So this was a very good pairing. This matchup was a lot of fun. My first thing I wrote in my notes is this is my kind of match. The match starts off with a series of one-upmanship. They kind of went back and forth with arm drags. But it also was showing off Fenrir's desire to steal opportunity. Like any chance he got, they went for a handshake and then he went for the roll up. He went for a fist bump and then did the arm drag. Like he was definitely looking for any advantage he could get in the match, which I think Again, we don't know much about Fenrir as a character. He hasn't had a lot of development yet, but we kind of see in his style of wrestling what kind of a person he is, and he's looking for that win however he can get it, by hook or by crook. Will Austin did hit a perfect suicide dive through the second rope, like a somersault suicide dive. He like dove through the rope into a somersault. It was pretty cool looking. But his next move was not so good. So he drags in Fenrir into the ring, which again, good ring awareness, good smart wrestling. You can't win on the outside. He brings in Fenrir, then he goes to the top to do a they called it a corkscrew, like cross body, but it didn't hit the mark and it looked bad. And my thing about stuff like this, and going back to Alex Misery, when Alex Misery does those crazy dives, he never misses, right? Like he doesn't look like, he just get a piece of it. No, he always hits the move. If you're going to do a crazy corkscrew 360, body dive, make sure you get the contact, not part of it. You got to get all of it, because they can't edit that out in post. They can't make it look like you hit the move when you didn't. And
don't hit a referee like that.
What's that?
Just don't hit a referee like that.
Well, yeah, don't ever hit the referee. But anyway, so that move obviously kind of pulled it out for a minute. Fenrir takes advantage of the missed opportunity, and he hits this real beautiful drop kick. Fenrir has a great drop kick. I don't think anyone in the NWA has a better drop kick than Fenrir right now. But Will Austin, to his credit, isn't out. He still connects with a Hurricane Rana, and it just, the match itself, they kept going back and forth the entire match, and there was no clear cut. Like if we were scoring the match on points, it was even until the finish where Fenrir hits that crucifix powerbomb. And again, being the 225, he's very muscular, he's very strong junior heavyweight. He was able to connect, and with that connection, ended up getting the 1-2-3. So bad so that DKM decided he was going to leave the show. Jaden, what did you think of this match? Did you see this one? And give me your thoughts.
I actually liked it. I think Fenrir's got star potential. He looks like a wrestler. He can move well. He what he does right. And it doesn't look out of place that he's doing it, but he's definitely a good 225 if he's anything. So, I'd like it. I think Fenrir is somebody they should put more concentration into. One of the cool things about a junior heavyweight division is you could have a strange dichotomy, a strange misfit toy collection of various styles and body types and personalities and wrestling maneuvers, and never see the same thing if done right. The problem is when you get all the guys who do the same stuff at the same exact time in the same exact way and miss it half the time and break their neck in the process. But again, having a Fenrir to be different than, say, an Alex Taylor or a Alexander Miserable, as you like to call him, or anybody like that, it's unique that each person stands out. The only one, ironically, he doesn't stand out as much against is Slade, because Slade does also a lot of beef for a junior heavyweight.
Yeah, and Slade, absolutely, you're spot on. And his style of wrestling is kind of, I would say, it's fundamentally different. Maybe this is the weird way to think about it, but every time, at least in modern day, when you think of a junior heavyweight, even though Dean Malenko was the master of 1,000 holds, and Bryan Danielson is one of the greatest wrestlers of all time, Zack Sabre Jr. is a technician in the ring. When I think of junior heavyweights, I still think of the cruiserweight division in WCW, just littered with luchadors and a lot of high flying, high risk style of wrestling. That the matches between Eddie Guerrero and Dean Malenko, and then Dean Malenko and Rey Mysterio and Eddie Guerrero. That's to me like high peak pinnacle junior heavyweight wrestling. But honestly, Slade is not that. Slade is like Kurt Angle, only a junior heavyweight. And it kind of bunks the whole myth that a junior heavyweight has to be a high flyer. And so you get at least a nice mix of the junior heavyweight division in the NWA, where it's not just one style. I feel like they give you a little bit of everything, which to me is what I want in pro wrestling. I want a little bit of everything.
I'm a little disappointed you didn't mention El Dandy. How dare you not give props to El Dandy? Who are
Who am
you
I
to
to
not
doubt?
mention El Dandy?
Who am I to doubt El Dandy, right?
Yeah.
DK is having some issues with his computer. He just messaged me. So if he
And
gets
he
on,
loves dealing with computers. That's his favorite thing.
didn't he say at least 3 times this week that computers are evil?
Yes.
Next up, we get the
Wait
Serena
till I
Vale.
tell him about the cloud.
He's already predestined to yell at the cloud, so it only makes sense.
Yeah.
I'm sure you watched this next promo. You had Serena Vale calling out Kenzie Page. Time to turn the page, I think is what she said. She said that they've been battling forever. And honestly, we don't know that on the NWA program. We don't know that from NWA Power. But if you look through their match history, if you go look at Crossfire Wrestling, Serena Vale and Kenzie Page have had a series of matches in the past. So I like the fact that the history is coming from Crossfire. But if we're gonna name drop it, give me a video montage of it. Show me some clips of it. I want to see what Serena Vale has done, and I want to see what Kenzie Page and Serena Vale have done to each other, and then let's see them do it on the main show on Power. Vale is I don't know that Serena Vale is long for the NWA, not in the fact that she isn't good. I think she's very good. But because she has a unique look, because she's very young, and because she's so talented, to me, I don't know how long the NWA can keep her. You know what I mean, Jaden?
Know what you mean, Vern?
Did you see the promo?
No.
Okay. Well,
so I did not. I was fast forwarding through a lot of the stuff just to get to the wrestling.
It was very dark. It was very Vampiro-ish. It was, honestly, it wasn't unlike a Lost promo. It wasn't unlike Alex Misery.
Maybe that's something they need to do. Pair up Misery and Serena. And maybe they have some complementary aesthetics to be able to move each other to the next level.
Maybe. Not that Alex Misery needs a girl, but I mean, if Alex Misery needed a girl, not that he needs one, but if he needed one.
She ain't a girl.
I don't know.
She's a vampire. She's a vamp.
She's a vampire. He is something else. He's miserable.
Unhinged.
He's
make a good door or a jar.
Respect the dog. If he ever works for Dangerous Adrenaline Wrestling Gladiators, I would like for him to say that. Respect the dog.
Respect the dog.
Now
that dog. That dog. I want to bet that dog.
Now that I'm thinking of it, I want to see Alex Misery versus Ariel Van Gogh. That would be intense. That would be very, very fun for me. I would enjoy that.
Book it for Buckets for Rent Championship Wrestling.
I believe Misery's in Florida, and I know that Ariel Van Gogh's in Georgia. So the flights for that one would be expensive.
Florida would probably be cheaper than Georgia, believe it or not.
Really?
Yeah, Florida's a hub. It's easier to get a flight out of Florida than, depending again where in Florida. Even though it's a major thing in Atlanta. There's like Vegas. It's cheap. I could fly to Vegas cheaper than I could fly to Tennessee.
That's wild. That doesn't make sense to me, but whatever.
Because there's so many planes going to Vegas. That's why.
That's a good point too. All right.
Believe it or not, they don't stay there either.
Say that again?
The planes don't stay there. They come back.
That's true. That's a very good point. The next segment is the country gentleman at the tattoo parlor. I'm not going to go into any more detail than that. Nothing to do with the NWA, but our good friend Mike Mayhem from Wrestle Rant just posted on our TikTok, and he said 2 mid-level seats at SmackDown are $430. So the last WWE event I went to was last year in February. The sale had already been announced. TKO had already bought the WWE, and I spent $80 for like the back of literally the last seat up in the nosebleed section, and it was $80. And I thought, wow, that's crazy. But the prices have only increased, that just shows you that you need to support your independent wrestling now more so than ever. The WWE is pricing its fans out of serious consideration to watching the programs live. I mean, they've even made it so difficult to watch their content every week. Like, Raw's behind a pay window. SmackDown, you have to pay for cable to watch it. The premium live events, which used to be next to nothing on Peacock, now you have to pay $30 a month to watch it on ESPN. I will say this: the CW is a free, viable network that you can watch via, the CW channel, or you can watch it on their on demand on the CW app, which that's free to use. And then I guess the Saturday night main events and the NXT PLEs are now all free on YouTube as well. So I will say, give them credit for that, but I mean, I think that's just until they find somebody willing to pay them for that content, and then they'll be behind another pay window. Where the NWA, you could watch all of Power for free on the Roku app. You can watch Dangerous Adrenaline Wrestling Gladiators for free on YouTube. You can watch United Wrestling Network, sometimes right even here on this channel at the Alliance blog. So make sure you support your local independents and get behind.
But if you really want to watch Dangerous Adrenaline Wrestling Gladiators, buy a ticket.
Absolutely.
That's the best way to watch it.
But if you don't
go to Rowan University.
If you don't go to Rowan University and you don't live in New Jersey, the second best thing is to watch it on YouTube.
Or you can just travel.
I've done that before. I've done both.
Yes.
The only option I haven't taken is enrolled at Rowan University.
What would you take?
Probably some sort of business classes.
That's what take television production. Go work for Championship Wrestling from Buckets for Rent.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I got distracted. There's a comment on TikTok. Pethead says NYC Thrasher on TikTok sometimes does lives from Outlaw Wrestling too. So there you go. I mean, look, especially with TikTok, I'm seeing a lot more companies starting to produce content on TikTok of live wrestling events. Even, Dr. Lawrence Draconium has authorized the Dog Channel to sometimes put some of their live event footage on TikTok. So you can literally watch matches from there too. I think it's pretty cool that
reception pending, of course, because sometimes it's not always easy.
No, and I feel like that's the best, that I feel like that's really cool too, to again, making content available. I'm not saying, at the end of the day, if you can go to a live event and buy a ticket, that's the best way to watch wrestling. It's live and in person. But if you can't make it to a particular event and you want to still support the company, watching it on their authorized distribution channels, whether it be YouTube or TikTok or whatever, again, that's beneficial to that company as well.
Don't forget, if you watch, say, the Alliance-Wrestling.com or the Alliance Blog podcast or the Alliance Guys podcast or something from Dangerous Adrenaline Wrestling Gladiators, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and share. Don't forget to hit that bell icon so you never miss an upload of any of our uploads.
And I would love to see somebody start duetting some of the Dangerous Adrenaline Wrestling Gladiator content.
Duettings?
Not weddings, duetting.
Duettings, yeah, duettings. We do weddings, we do bar mitzvahs, we do quinceañeras, we do carnivals, we do fairs, we do corporate events, we can do a birthday party, we can do anything at Dangerous Adrenaline Wrestling Gladiators. So we'll do weddings.
What about retirement parties?
We'll do them too.
Because I'm getting
when
ready
Dave
to
Dahl retired, we all had a party.
I'm getting ready to retire right now. Next up, we have the promo with Colby in the ring with Kyle Davis again. Every time we see Kyle in the ring with Colby, he's looking for that update, like how are you feeling? You ready to come back to the ring? And I like that they have not forgotten about Colby Corino. I like that we're getting the updates on it, but I don't want to see him in the ring until he's ready to wrestle, because then you get what we had this week, which was the Southern Six coming out and cutting him down while in the middle of giving us his status update. Colby got really, that's what I'm looking for, vulnerable in the ring. He was very transparent about some of his mental health issues that he's going through right now, not being able to wrestle, and with the consequences of living a normal life, because that's not what he's ever been about. And he talks about his struggles with addiction in the past, and that how he was living under a bridge basically, and then was able to get back to a healthy life and get back into pro wrestling. And now that that's been taken away from him because of this injury, and he's desperate to get back in the ring, but he's not quite there yet. And I have no problem with the transparency here, and I feel like it's very inspiring. And of course, when Colby steps back into the ring, I think it'll be a moment for celebration. I think the NWA audience will be very much behind Colby Corino. I feel like the office will be very much behind Colby Corino. But every time they bring him out and then someone runs him down, it makes him look worse to me. Does that make sense?
Yes. What they really should be doing, I mean, it's great that he's there if he's helping out. Maybe put him on commentary for a match or something like that. But if they want to give us a highlight of what he's doing, have him showing working out, doing therapy, swimming in the pool, do an 80s montage if you have to, with more modern music. Maybe something with Smashing Pumpkins.
No, go with the 80s. I love it. Let's go fly now. Let's do it, man. Let's get the Rocky montage. That's what I want.
Maybe not the Rocky montage. How about the one from Rocky 4 when he's training in Siberia? Can we
put Markova as Drago in that one now?
No, she has to be Drago's. Yeah, he has to be Brigitte Nielsen. He will crush you.
If he dies, he dies.
And then I can get Vladimir Koloff, and Matthew Underwood would have to change his underwear.
Oh my God! Stop. All right.
And Noob. Don't get me started with Noob.
That would create. So, anyways, getting back to the promo, Alex Taylor calls Colby a faker and a coward, and Kerry recants the time that Colby hit him in his no-no spot. And he's very sensitive in his no-no spot. That made me laugh. I thought that was funny. And just as Taylor and Morton of the Southern Six were about to do bodily harm to Colby Corino, out comes the babyface hero of Tampa, none other than Brian Idol. And the crowd went mild. Nobody gave a shit. And that's his crowd. That's his place. Tampa is his hometown. And nobody cared. I'm so tired. I'm so tired of Brian Idol. It's getting it to me. I'm not a fan, and I've made that very clear. But now I feel like they're pushing him even more. And it's like he's got his world title match. I don't need him to be the savior of pro wrestling. He doesn't need to come out for every moment where a babyface is in peril to save the day. Let's leave Brian Idol to his world title match with Silas Mason and just cut it at that. Getting the Southern Six, getting involved with a feud with the Southern Six again, when you have a world title match on the line, I think it's just bad business. It doesn't make sense. You're basically giving us the results of what's going to happen in that main event, which is going to be Brian Idol is going to, look like he's about to win the title, and then Southern Six are going to come out to steal it away from him. And not that I feel like he deserves to even be in that position to potentially win the title, but we know that's what's going to happen. And now you're already building the out clause. I just would rather not do this. Let's just keep Colby Corino and Kerry Morton and Alex Taylor separate from what Brian Idol's doing. I don't need it all to blend together. This isn't the MCU. It doesn't all have to, connect, right?
I can make it work. Maybe Silas decides that he has to, even though he gets the match, he sent them out and he wants them there so that he could they could have to wrestle him and weaken him a little bit. Now he has to get through Alex Taylor. Then he beats Alex Taylor. Then he has to get through Kerry Morton, who reminds me a lot of what's the guy's name from The Simpsons? The Chief Wiggum's kid, Ralph. He's starting to remind me a lot of Ralph from The Simpsons. and Ralph Gore.
No spot.
And then he gets the match against Silas Mason, and even do the thing that if he beats each one of them, they are barred from ringside, and if they show up, they're fired. So then he gets like a little momentum. He beats both Southern Six. Can he complete the sextupta? Whatever can he beat them all? Is he like Pokemon? Got to beat them all. And then Silas actually wins on his own or cheats or whatever. But it builds it up to make people think, all right, he's got all this momentum. Is he going to win? Is he going to win? Not saying it's the right person to do it with, but I can make that work.
And I'm sure you could, and I'm positive you could, but I just don't want to see him anymore. I'm kind of.
I know. I didn't hate Brian Idol like you do, but he is starting to annoy the crap out of me. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just like his arms look weird for me or something like that. It's just, and he just kind of looks like he's got like a little stroke going on in his face. Got like that droopiness, but I just don't. I'm getting to not like him too. But at least if they're going to do it right.
Sure, I get that. All right, well, that brings us to. We go back to the tattoo parlor, and now we've got Markova and Thom interrupting the country gentleman. Now, this is kind of a weird deal because if I'm not mistaken, which I'm not normally mistaken, Markova. Yeah, thanks. Markova's typically, side to side with Brian Idol looks at kill, right? That's typically the pairing that we see. And although, I guess they haven't officially said boyfriend, girlfriend on camera, that's all we presume is that they are a couple in real life. Thom Latimer is, of course, married to the former women's champion Camille. And, and I know that they're very happily married. This was a weird group to have come involved in this tattoo parlor thing because it's the country gentleman. It's literally AJ Kazana getting a tattoo. I don't feel like we're going to see an AJ Kazana Thom Latimer feud because of this tattoo, but who knows? I won't put anything past Billy. But I don't understand why Markova is mixed in with it. The one thing I will say that was funny about this segment is Casey says, "What do you know about American heroes? You're French," which obviously he's not French. He's from the UK. He's from London. I think he's from London, England.
I thought he was Welsh. I don't know. Maybe he was English. I forget. All those EU people look alike to me. I'm kidding.
So like everyone in the European Union looks the same to you?
I'm being very facetious there.
Fair enough.
It's
Thom
kind
Latimer.
of like how you don't know that Puerto Rico is part of the United States.
I never spelled Cahagas with an N either. Thom Latimer is from England, so he is from the United Kingdom, but he is from England. So specifically, it was funny to me that KC called him French, and then AJ and Joe Kazana kind of continued with it. So it was funny. Then the next.
Hey, if Jean-Luc Picard can be French, by being played by Patrick Stewart, maybe.
Yeah, sure. I'm all right with that.
And real quick, isn't Idol kind of now associated with Latimer a little bit? So maybe there's where the connection is.
That could be it. And then we're offending our UK audience because Pethead's just laughing at us because we said some derogatory comments against people from the United Kingdom. Thanks, Jaden.
I actually love the UK. I have a lot of Scottish in my family. So I actually do love the UK. I'm just making fun of. I was using it to make fun of Jay because Jay doesn't know that Puerto Rico is part of the United States.
I know that Puerto Rico is part of the United States. I'm not.
He thinks it's international.
I don't even know where to go with this. First of all, I love the UK. I was in Scotland earlier. I guess now it's been almost a year. I was in Scotland last year, and if someone forced me to leave the United States today, I would want to move to Edinburgh because I felt like that was just the most beautiful place on earth. And I very much enjoyed my time in Scotland. I also visited the Isle of Man, which where my family originates from. The last name K. Wow, the last name Cal, which is actually Kaylee, originated from the Isle of Man. And if I had to go anywhere, if someone said you could move to any place on the earth, I think I'd move to the Isle of Man. I'd get myself a nice solar setup and get myself a nice, probably like the satellite internet, because I don't think that they have regular internet on that island. But that's what I would do.
I think I'd move to the Isle of Lesbos.
I don't think you'd be very popular there, Jaden.
Oh, I think I could. I think I have a lot of fun.
Choose your words.
They're going to ask me what I want for birthday. I'm going to say I want to watch.
Casio, Timex.
Is Casio the one on the right or the one on the left?
I have no idea. Oh, Jesus. Jack and Eddie are in the next segment. Oh, shit. Jack and Eddie. Great.
Yeah, this is the family show. Come on.
Jack and his tag team partner, Eddie, announced that they will be part of the 16 seed play-in match to get into the Crockett Cup. Now, we already saw last week Izzy James and Bam Bam Malone advance into that matchup. We know that we're going to see Talos and is his name Rebu? I feel like a dick because I don't think I'm saying his name right.
I think Rebu was on Legends of Tomorrow.
Shit. Ren Ayabe, Ayabe, the Titans of Calamity. The Titans of Calamity have a security spot in the qualifying match for the 16th seed of the Crockett Cup. So Jack and his tag team partner Eddie will be a part of what I believe next week will be another qualifying match for the Crockett Cup's 16 seed. Then
ampersand. Then nobody will know what you're talking about, but at least it doesn't sound.
If I just say his tag team partner Eddie, then it stretches it
out. How about Eddie and Jack?
Eddie and Jack. That'll work too.
How about Jack and Coke?
I feel like I've been drinking those all day. Next up, we get the 14th seed versus the 3rd seed in the red, white, and Jacked versus the Colognes. There's too much Jack going on in the NWA for my liking. The Colognes, again, from Puerto Rico, not international, are American. Former tag team, former WWE tag team champions. Currently been working for Ring of Honor quite a bit. I don't know if you've been following the ROH studio shows, but the Colognes have been a big part of that. And this was a good opportunity for them to get a big victory in. They wrestled against Wrecking Ball Legursky, who is a former U.S. tag team champion and has had a fair share of his involvement in the Crockett Cup tournament. Last year was not a part of the tournament when he was feuding with former tag team partner Jay Bradley in a dog collar match, steel chain match, I guess is what it really was. And, again, we talk about the seeding for the Crockett Cup. At least Jack and Legursky have wrestled before JAC. We did not see, earlier Bones and Zion had not teamed before, but at least Legursky and JAC have teamed before, but they still lost. So I don't know why they are seated so high in the cup. It doesn't make sense to me. Anyways, the match was basically a divide and conquer, when just similar to the match that they had before. When Legursky's in the ring, he's very dominant. When he's outside of the ring, JAC is a liability. They had very much control of the match for the first maybe 6 minutes of it. Legursky and JAC did the hot tags on Epico. He was taking a ton of punishment early in the match, but as soon as he got that hot tag into Primo, it all was downhill. Primo had some lightning fast offense, and it very much became a match between speed versus power and size, and the Colognes ended up winning that matchup. To me, this was an okay match. Again, I know some of these teams are supposed to lose in the first round. Wrecking Ball Legursky was a great tag team wrestler with Jay Bradley. I think he needs to keep looking for another partner. JAC isn't it. At least he isn't it yet. Maybe they can continue to work as a tag team and see what happens in the future. But the Colognes certainly are a very good tag team, and they work very well together, obviously. Jaden, what did you think of this match?
I thought it was kind of boring.
Okay.
I don't know. It was just like, I don't see JAC as others do. Like some people in the NWA think he's better than I see him as. I don't see it. Maybe I will, but Wrecking Ball should be a singles wrestler now.
Okay, I'll take
Doesn't
that.
need another tag team partner. He should be trying to win the TV title or the national title or the World Heavyweight Championship.
I would like to see him and Mike Mondo go back and forth. I feel like that would be. I think we've already seen it, but I think that would be an interesting feud because Mondo is jacked, and he really is jacked.
Yes.
All right.
I want to see him give Wrecking Ball the gut check.
You think he can get him up?
Yes.
Wow. All right.
He has a lot of dynamite in that package.
Okay. Next up, we get the Holy Grail as they're in the back and they have their eyes set on the Crockett Cup. Hence the title of this episode. The cup is the Holy Grail. That's what Pastor CeeLo admits to the camera, that he thought the Holy Grail was the three of them, but realized that the Holy Grail is winning the Crockett Cup. And Pretty Boy Smooth searched high and low for his tag team partner in Hayden Backlund, who is somehow related to Bob Backlund. At least that's the rumor on the street. I haven't been able to find a direct lineage, but I haven't researched it on Ancestry yet, so maybe that's what's holding me back. But the promo was pretty good. Again, I think Pastor CeeLo is one of the better talkers in the NWA, and given the chance, this is the first time we've seen Pretty Boy Smooth, sans EC3, sans Exodus Pro, sans that whole connection. So he's going to have to stand on his own. And with teaming with Hayden Backlund, who I've heard good things about, I haven't seen him wrestle yet. Let's see what they bring to the table, and let's see what's in store as they take on the Wrestling Machines in next week on Power. So that's going to be, that'll be a very telling sign of where they're going to go with Pretty Boy Smooth, because obviously if he wins, then they advance and they'll be part of the Cup for the April 4th taping in Forney, Texas. And if they lose, then clearly they're done with that tag team, and we'll have to wait to see what's next for Pretty Boy Smooth.
I think Pretty Boy Smooth, PB, should team up with Jelly Roll and be called PB and Jelly Roll.
Yeah, I thought you might.
Did you really see that coming?
As soon as you said I thought he should team, I'm like, it's going to be somebody like ridiculous, and it was. Like if you would have legitimately said, like, they should bring back Marche Rocket, or they should put him with let's see, who's somebody that's big on the rock. They should put him with El Dragon Nihan. Like, okay, let me see where you're going with this. Let's see what you're cooking. You went with Jelly Roll. You went with the low hanging fruit.
Don't think anybody else with the name Jelly.
It's fair.
Jelly Nutella.
Nutella, jeez. Joey Janela and Pretty Boy Smooth. You might actually be onto something. We get Dr. Vic in his Adobe, and he's hanging with Greta, basically party planning. Now, this is weird because he already threw a birthday party for Tiffany Nieves, and now he's in the back, or in his house, his casita, whatever you want to call it, with Greta. And Greta is not even talking. He's bouncing ideas off of her, and she's not really she's not being a very vocal participant. These segments, these skits are stupid. Billy, if you're watching this, I know you're not, but if you're watching this, come on, man. What are we doing here? What Dr. Vic, he wants to impress Tiffany Nieves, then do it in the damn ring, man. I'm tired of this bullshit. It's a waste of my time, effort, and energy. You keep throwing these segments together. Who is saying these are awesome? Good job, boss. way to book this storyline. This is great. This is
Sycophant. That's who.
But who? Is it Pat Kenny? Is Pat Kenny saying good job, boss? Is it, is it Kyle Davis? Is it Joe Galley? Is it Billy Trask? Like, whoever's telling Billy Corgan that these are good segments needs to be fired because they're garbage. And furthermore, Dr. Vic is already giving off a very Epstein-ish like feeling, and then you put him with an 18-year-old girl, it just feels very off. It feels very unsavory, and I don't like it. All right.
Yeah, maybe instead of with that, maybe they should put him with, I don't know, Zion.
Would be a step up, wouldn't it?
I think it would definitely be an ascension.
Nicely done. Next up, we get Carson Drake taking on Chico Adams. I don't think I'm in the minority when I say this, that I miss enhancement work. I miss squash matches. I miss when the guy came in just to make the other guy look better. And that's almost exactly what this is. Chico Adams has been kind of established on the independents. He's been around. He's done work. Chico Adams, this was his debut on Power, but he, again, also been wrestling for Coastal Championship Wrestling. He's made appearances on AEW and NXT. I mean, he's got a background in enhancement work, but he just came in to make Carson Drake look like $1 million. And I'm not the biggest Carson Drake fan either, but this is the kind of match he needs if they're going to build him up for the world title, which apparently that's what they're going to do. So I had no problem with Carson Drake mopping the floor with this guy. He wins the match. God bless Joe Galley. He said, he won the match with his version of the stroke. But, I feel like that was the 1% that EC3 used to do. I could be wrong. Noob, going back to the other segment, Noob says Dr. Vic and Tiffany Nieves segments seem weird. Absolutely they do. What did you think of this match?
I kind of fast forwarded because honestly, I went to go get some beta alanine, and I was hoping Chico was the man, but apparently he wasn't, and Carson Drake came out the victory.
Yeah, but look, I feel like that's what we have these kind of matches for. Like, if Chico came out and went the time limit with Carson Bartholomew Drake, I feel like that would have been a waste of what they've been trying to build with Drake. He needs to come in and have some big victories, and if they're not willing to do it with somebody on the roster, then I'm fine with them doing it with, even Drake called the guy a jobber. I'm fine with them using these guys like this in that way to just build him up, but honestly, this match should have been against somebody like Lev, or should have been someone like Daisy Kill, or somebody who on the roster it has some value. But if you're not going to give me that, I'd rather him just mop the floor with somebody than have a skilled match, a back and forth style match. That brings us to a post-match promo with the Federation of Champions. And Stevens, of course, takes over on the mic, says that he has two teams in the Crockett Cup, that either team, he doesn't really care who wins as long as it's his team, because his goal as a manager is to have that Crockett Cup champion, the tournament champions, which I'm again, nothing he said was very abrasive to me at all. And Carson Drake, again, talks about how he wants the NWA World's Heavyweight Championship. So I like the long-term storytelling. Of course, Carson Drake wants to be the next world champion. That's what they're booking him towards. I don't have a problem with any of that. Of course, I don't want him to be champion, but I feel like they need to build somebody up to challenge Silas Mason after this, idol match is done and over with. So for that reason, I'm fine with it. Did you watch the promo or no?
I didn't, but Lockjaw kind of reminds me. You ever watch this movie from the 1980s called Mask?
Yes.
It kind of reminds me of that.
Eric Stoltz.
I think I think it was Eric Stoltz, wasn't it? That's been so long now. I have to go back. But he kind of, I don't know. It reminds me like a caveman. It's so easy, even a caveman can do it. But I don't know. I I actually thought of something funny though. I wasn't really watching. I was trying to go through, but it's real hard to go back on the phone when you're watching the Roku app. So I kept going back and forward until I finally got to a spot that was line where I wanted to be. But as I was looking, I thought it would be funny if the last two were, say, maybe the Slade and Mondo and the Slime Balls, and the Slime Balls win because they're not officially his team.
That would be phenomenal. And yes, it was Eric Stoltz, and I was desperately trying to save a photo to post up, but unfortunately, none of the.
When I watched that movie, I was really surprised there weren't cars that turn into planes, and a giant bulbous robot that turned into a scooter.
Did you watch it when you were a kid? Because I did watch it when I was a kid, like maybe younger than I should have been when I saw it. And
the movie or the cartoon? Because I said the answer is both. Yes.
The movie, but like I also feel like the cartoon. Like I love the cartoon when I was a kid. Mask was awesome, and you got I see Double D in the chat. If you've never watched Mask, because I know you're of a later generation than Jaden and myself, go back and watch it. It's a fun cartoon. Your 1-year-old might like it, but it was like a kind of like a Transformers, except for they didn't turn into robots. They turned into a different kind of vehicle that could fight in battle. Hey, we got Vladimir Koloff in the chat. See, you
Vladimir Koloff.
You said his name 3 times, and now he's here.
Vladimir, team up Markova. You could be, and then fight somebody in Russia.
It could be like from Russia with Love. That could be the tag team name right there.
Yes.
Vladimir Koloff, I'm going to slide into your DMs at some point and try to get you on an episode of the Alliance Blog podcast. Matthew,
a presentation of alliance-wrestling.com, your number one source of news for the National Wrestling Alliance. There was a mess too.
Well, he's talking about with Jim Carrey. Not Jim Carrey, but the I think who they use.
Jim Carrey was there, but he wasn't. He was
in the first Mask, but they made a sequel to that Mask.
Yeah, that was the guy that had the television show,
like the Son of the Mask or something.
Jamie something.
Oh, not Jamie Kennedy.
Yeah, I think he was Son of Mask.
Wow. All right.
Kennedy.
I am sure if Alex Misery was still in the chat, he'd be like, "This is completely unhinged." Then we get the promo with Kenzie calling out Goth, Serena Vale, and I know this is going to be a banger of a match. The promo for it is just, if you're going to reference something that happened in Crossfire, show me the footage, get me invested. Right now, I have 2 girls talking about matches they had in other places. I want to see them get it on in the NWA ring, and I want to see the footage of it from Crossfire on Power, or even maybe on Into the Fire, whatever the YouTube show that they do. And then we get Kylie, and she's very angry at Haley J for stepping in that dog do, and that leads us to the matchup that will be the main event for tonight. And then we go back to Dr. Vic Sadobe and their party planning with Tiffany, and then Greta's there, and now we've got Miss Star and Silas Mason, and I'm just, at this point now, I feel like I'm tripping balls, Matthew Underwood. This is just a very weird moment for the NWA. I don't understand why Silas Mason is there. They don't give us an explanation why he's there. If he's Southern Six, where's Taylor and Morton? Why didn't they come with him? And it's just a weird situation. I don't know what's going on, and I'm sure you skipped it, right, Jaden?
I actually caught a lot of this because I couldn't get through it fast enough, and I was wondering if somebody just says, you know what, these wrestlers need, the top wrestlers need to be seen with girls, the lady wrestlers. So let's just put them in segments so they're seen with these ladies wrestlers. Okay. So then the lady wrestlers get the rub from the guys, and the guys get the rub from the lady wrestlers, and all of a sudden they're bigger stars.
You can't say that on the internet.
You said Jack and Eddie.
Fair enough. All right, that takes us to the main event. We get Hollywood Haley J versus Kylie Page. the pretty prima donna. We're not calling her the other name anymore. And of course, Danny Deals is firmly behind one of the Page sisters. He always backs up the Page girls. And interestingly enough, we get Henry Page out there. Tommy Henry, excuse me. He doesn't go by Page, which is weird because the daughters do, but he doesn't. Anyways, Tommy Henry's out there. He's the manager for this match. And they don't really even acknowledge why he's out there. But we find out towards the end of the match. This match is essentially all Kylie. Like, she really puts the boots to Hollywood Haley J. I don't know what they're planning to. Oh, that's right, Noob. I did forget the promo. You're right. Before we get to the match, we got the promo from Natalia Markova.
I'm really shocked that Noob was the one to tell us that.
Well, he has his favorites, and that's all right. And this was and you even mentioned it earlier. It was probably one of the better Markova promos you've seen.
Yeah.
She talks about Greta and how she's going to make sure that she gets squared away with Greta at some point, but then also talks about how Tiffany Nieves treated Livia from last week, and how that's not what we do in the NWA. We treat our competition, even the newcomers, with respect, and she's just trying to build a brand. And why would you try to do that to her? So I felt like it was a very locker room hero, locker room leader kind of promo. And again, when it comes to Markova, we don't hear a lot of promos from her. So when she does say something and she sounds, really good in the promo, I think we do have to acknowledge that. What did you think of the promo? You said
I remember I was talking before, she was very wooden and stoic and very Pinocchio-esque, and I wasn't a big fan. Did not like her promos for a while, but I will say she has gotten progressively better, and while she's not perfect yet, this was definitely her best one yet. Also, the way her makeup was done was more conducive to bringing out like her facial expressions, her features, her eyes. It was a better production overall with the makeup and the lighting and the promo itself. It was a lot better from her, and I could see again she's getting more and more comfortable, and that's good because it's starting to show, and she's improved every time she's been doing the promo since that really, really robotic one she did that one time. And I'm proud, and who knows, she might be it's about 10 months after the NWA did this one, so she might be like a promo queen by now. We just will have to wait till next year to find it, probably.
Well, and again, let's talk about Markova as a wrestler, right? Because she's been at it for a while. She's only 30. Well, I don't know if that's good or bad. She's 37 years old. So even though she has 19 years of experience, I don't think she's ever been on the spotlight that she has right now. And this, maybe she still has time to make a run at one of the two big promotions, but she's all over the place defending the title. She's defended the world championship against Sierra Mid-America Wrestling in Wisconsin. She defended the title at the Clash in Florida. She defended the title at a CEP event in New York. She defended the title in Chicago. She's getting out there. She's really trying to continue to further the NWA title, the lineage, and herself. And she goes everywhere. I mean, she wrestled in Arizona. She's wrestled in Mexico. She's wrestled in the Northeast. She's wrestled in the Southwest. She wrestles here in Southern California in Palmdale. I mean, she's really been everywhere. So if this is it for her, if this is, if her time with the NWA is coming to conclusion, she doesn't have a ton of time left. She's 37 at year 40. I don't think the WWE is looking at newcomers at that age. I don't think the WWE is looking at talent that are in their 40s. I don't know if AEW is looking for talent at their 40s. So this might be it for Markova. It's make or break time. So the fact that she's firing on all cylinders now is great news for her, and I hope that means something is coming for her. If it's not the NWA, then I hope something bigger comes for her very, very soon. And if nothing does come, then I hope that she gets to be able to continue to showcase her skills with the NWA for a few more years, because again, like, I think she's now starting to hit on all cylinders, like you said. She wrestles great. I have never had a problem with her in-ring ability. Her promos have gotten better, and overall her look is more polished now than it's ever been. So shout out to Markova. Whatever you're doing, keep it up. You're heading the right direction, and it looks like we're gonna see. At the very least, her next match is going to be against Hera in a submission. They didn't say it was a submission match, but she acknowledged that Hera is a submission specialist. So who knows? But I feel like this will be a good matchup for her next week.
Based on what I've seen about Hera, yeah, she makes the audience tap out by having to watch her.
Well, and I guess I'm sorry, my fan came unplugged. I guess Hera is has out of the St. Louis territory. She works for WLW in St. Louis, and she's really, I guess she's really good there. But the NWA has lumped her with this Hera gimmick, so we'll see how that all translates through the NWA. Okay, so a lot of good stuff, a lot of not so good stuff, but the main event is a basically a cat fight. We got Kylie Page taking on Hollywood Haley J. All this based on the fact that maybe Stormy the dog left a mess inside the women's locker room on carpet, and Kylie stepped into it. I
put money on it being Carson Drake, but go ahead.
I would have said one of the slime balls might have done it. This match itself, I was expecting something different. I thought it'd be way more competitive. I thought it would be more back and forth. This was an ass whooping. Hollywood Haley J looked like, to me, she got her ass kicked. And Kylie was out there full of fire, full of emotion. And Kylie, this is pretty much a traditional style of wrestling for Kylie. She's always very animated when she's in the ring. She is, I feel like, the more aggressor between the two Page sisters. And sometimes that could bite her in the butt, no pun intended. But in this matchup, she really took it to Hollywood Haley J. And now I don't even know what you do with Hollywood Haley J going forward, because it was kind of a one-sided victory for Kylie. And post-match, they built during the match, when we did see a little bit of offense from Haley J, she started going for that power slap, because that was where she was, what she was doing in between working the last NWA event and everything else. But she still lost in the power slap competition. So I don't know why that's where you want to bring her into this situation, with that being her finishing maneuver or a signature move, when she still didn't, she won a round or two at the power slap, but ultimately she wasn't the power slap champion, if you will. So I don't know. After the match, the two could not be separated. They still were fighting. And that's when Tommy Henry had to pull his daughter out of the ring and literally carried her upside down back to the locker room, because the two would not stop fighting. I'm sure it's going to lead to another matchup between the two, but if we're just taking personal victories on this one, Kylie got the moral victory and the victory in the ring. What did you think of the match, Jaden?
I was hoping it would slap. Unfortunately, it was not that good. It was booked very badly, in my opinion. I mean, I thought for sure Haley J was going to win, because for some reason there's that whole boo-boo face thing where people have to get the entire match and then lose at the end.
Yeah.
Especially a heel, because they don't want to lose, and they have like this big old thing, so they think it makes them stronger. But then even after the post-fight, where was this energy to begin with, where during the match, and then Kylie was still in charge when Tommy Henry pulled her off.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I didn't think that was done well at all. I think that was very detrimental to Haley J, which, again, I'm not the biggest fan of her, but I could definitely see the star power. There's star that she's got. Probably some ointment will help get rid of it, but still, she's got that star power, and I don't think they know how to capitalize on it. And I think this is anything that made her. I think this didn't help Kylie, fully grown adult Kylie, and it didn't help. Definitely didn't help Haley J at all, and it didn't help Poochie.
No, and poor little Stormy had to watch her owner get her ass whipped. And what dog wants to see their owner get their ass whipped,
Well, it depends how much you have to pay for it.
Wow. So that was this week's Power. And again, there was some positive. There was some good matches there. There was also some stuff we could have done without. Each and every week, I encourage you guys to check out Power, to watch it, to digest it, to see how off you think we are. But I'm saying our track record is pretty undefeated. Like, there are highs, there are lows. Power is not a perfect wrestling show. It does feature some really good talent, and sometimes that talent is able to rise above the booking, and sometimes they aren't. There are a lot of wrestlers on the roster who I can't wait to see wrestle again. This week I probably would have given it a C, and that's saying there's a lot of things I liked about this show.
I gave the wrestling action probably a C, maybe a C plus. No, maybe a C. And I didn't see enough of the other garbage, but I probably would have made it like a Q minus.
Well, and so next week, I know that we're going to see Hera challenge for the Women's Championship with Markova. I believe that they're going to do another qualifying match for the Crockett Cup, if maybe not next week, maybe in 2 weeks' time. And I think we're going to see more first-round matches, as well as I think we're going to have the Holy Grail take on the Federation of Champions for Wrestling Machines. So there's enough to entice me to watch next week, and I hope all of you watching will check out next week as well, and hopefully we have a little bit more positive to talk about. As we are getting close to that top of the hour, I think we're going to end it a little bit early tonight, because I know DKM had some things he wanted to say, and of course he's not here, so we'll have to wait for him for next week. But Jaden, I know that there are a lot of great things happening with Dangerous Adrenaline Wrestling Gladiators, and so now, my friend, I give you the floor. Well, wait, I give you the floor.
Dangerous Adrenaline Wrestling Gladiators has an event coming up next Saturday, April the 4th, at the South Jersey Geek Fest. You'll see Dangerous Adrenaline Wrestling action starting at 11 a.m. and going all the way until around 4:30, 5 o'clock, pretty much the rest of the afternoon. And also the legendary ring announcer who will be on the Alliance Guide podcast, Gary Michael Capetta, the world's most dangerous ring announcer. He will be at the Dangerous Adrenaline Wrestling Gladiators table, signing autographs, signing his book, Body Slams, getting pictures, and talking about how great Dog is, hopefully. And then after that, we're going to be at the Rowan College of Burlington County, not to be associated or confused with Rowan University, as part of their event for their springtime extravaganza. We're going to be there on April 23rd, which is a Thursday afternoon. And already signed there is the Dangerous Adrenaline Wrestling Gladiator champion, whoever that will be, the Dangerous Adrenaline Wrestling Gladiator tag team champions, whoever they will be, and the Men of the Hour, Too Sweet to Be Sour, just got a little shout out on the American Badass, whatever Cody Rhodes' podcast is. You're going to see Richard Holiday at the event on April 23rd at the Rowan College of Burlington County, RCBC. After that, we're going to be in the Pinelands Regional High School in Little Egg Harbor, New Jersey. It's going to be a homecoming for Ty Thomas, who is a graduate from that academy or from that school. And he will be there as part of the attraction. Also, currently signed is Falaba, who will now have to be on the Alliance Guys podcast, since I thought he was already on there. We'll make sure to get him on. Yeah. And Tank Tolan, former WWE superstar. Nikos Rikos will be there. In fact, Nikos Rikos will be continuing his feud against Ty Thomas, but this time in Ty Thomas's backyard in Little Egg Harbor, New Jersey. They've been feuding back and forth. They even had a match, I believe it was an I Quit match, and Ty Thomas, unfortunately, has not been the victor in this. I don't think he's beaten Nikos once, so this is a good chance to get that one final win in his hometown. Everybody needs to be there to support him, because he's going to need your help. Nikos Rikos is an incredibly talented wrestler, and there's a reason that he has beaten Ty Thomas in the past, and Ty Thomas has a very, very good record in Dangerous Adrenaline Wrestling Gladiators. So he'll need your support. If you're a fan out there, if you're a friend, if you're anywhere within the driving distance of Little Egg Harbor, come support Ty Thomas. He's going to need that energy. He will reach out. He needs your love. He needs your power. He needs your soul. He needs help so he can defeat his arch nemesis in Nikos Ricos on May 2nd at the Little Egg Harbor, New Jersey at the Pinelands Regional High School.
That sounds like a lot of exciting action coming to really multiple areas in New Jersey. So if you do not live in the area,
if you don't live in the area, by golly,
don't you know? Make sure you check it out. Dogprowrestling.com, Dog Unleashed on Instagram, Dog
_ Unleashed, I think.
Okay.
And it's Dog Wrestling on YouTube. And you know what? If we could put up a QR code, or if I was smart, I would have already had up, but I feel like looking for it right now because it takes forever. And this app does. But we'll make sure that you go check out all the stuff. You go to dogprowrestling.com, Dangerous Adrenaline Wrestling, that is DAWG Prowrestling.com. There's a link to everything, and you'll be able to go, or you can just check out that poster. And there's a QR code on that poster. Hopefully, as I'm talking, Jay's pulling that up. If not, I should have given him a cue. But and you can do that QR code and go through everything Dangerous Adrenaline Wrestling Gladiators does. Like it all, subscribe, comment, tell your friends, buy the shirt.
Buy the shirt. There's QR codes right there. And again, Big Trouble in Little Egg Harbor, Saturday, May 2nd. All right.
Isn't that a funny name?
What's that?
Isn't that a great name? Anybody from the 80s should really appreciate that.
I appreciate it. I thought it was a great name. But again, that will do it for us this week. I appreciate you guys hanging out with us. Of course, there's lots of viewing options for your Thursday evenings. I am appreciative and grateful that you chose us to spend your night with. And that certainly means a lot to me. Of course, if you enjoy this live stream that we're on Twitch and TikTok and YouTube, you could also support the channel by following, subscribing, liking, and all that good stuff, as well as checking out our podcast on Spotify, where we're doing lots of interviews that have been updated this last month, and we have a lot more coming. Just recent ones, Ninja Mac, Little Cholo. We just spoke with Ariel Van Gogh and Matthias today, and like Jaden mentioned, we'll be talking to Gary Michael Capetta next week, Big Mama from the UWN, and apparently there's more to be coming. So make sure you like, comment, subscribe on their YouTube channel, but make sure you subscribe to the podcast as well, because one thing that we do here is create content, lots and lots of content. And if you don't like content, then you're in the wrong spot. But until next time.
Real quick, before you do it, for either a dog or with the Alliance guys, make sure you do weddings with us.
And bar mitzvahs and quinceañeras. Retirement parties.
Yes, like we should retire this podcast.
And that's what we'll do right now. Until next time, we'll see you at the matches.
Thanks for joining the stream. This has been a presentation of Alliance-Wrestling.com. We genuinely appreciate your support. Would you consider subscribing so you'll never miss a future episode? I'd also like to remind you we do a live stream every Tuesday at 5 p.m. before NWA Power. You can find us on social media at The Alliance Blog. And until next time, we are the
guys.